to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way.
What's up, everybody? It's Punk Rock Talk, episode 42. Today, my guests are Mokosos. The song you're listening to is El Mismo Color by Mokosos. It's on our Spotify playlist, Rebellion Noise 2022. If you have not followed that playlist on Spotify yet, you should do that. Just search for it on Spotify, or you can go to the Havoc Spotify page, scroll to the bottom, and you'll find it there amongst our other playlists. We update it every week in correlation with whoever we're interviewing here on Punk Rock Talk. So it's a great way to discover new bands that you might not have heard of before, or hear an old favorite that you haven't listened to in a while. Have you missed an old episode of Punk Rock Talk? Not to worry. You can find all of them on the Havoc's YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, you should do that and tap the bell icon while you're there. That way you'll be notified every time we upload new content to our YouTube channel, which we're always working on new content for it. In fact, something right now that's coming soon. So now's a good time to subscribe. This episode of Punk Rock Talk, and every episode of Punk Rock Talk, is brought to you by our wonderful sponsor, Dead and Buried Inc. Are you in a band? Do you need merchandise? They're your source. They do it all. T-shirts, buttons, patches, stickers, bandanas, banners, you name it, they can do it. You can find them right here on Instagram at Dead and Buried Inc. That's INC, not INK. You can also find them online on their website, deadandburiedinc.com. If you're looking for Havoc merchandise, that's where you're going to find it. This episode of Punk Rock Talk and every episode of Punk Rock Talk is also brought to you by Rebellion Noise Records. You can find us right here on Instagram by searching for Rebellion Noise Records. Once you're there, look at the link in the bio that'll take you to our website where you can order Punk Rock Attack Volume 1 or 40 Fest Sampler. Both of which are free. Just pay a $5 flat rate shipping cost and we'll send it out to you. There's several orders waiting to go out. They are going out this week. So if you have not received anything yet, you place an order. I promise you we have received it. We just haven't sent them out yet. But that is happening this week. Okay. Before I bring my guest on here today, I've got some big news to share that I've been waiting months to finally share this. The Havoc's going on tour. We talked a little bit about it on a couple past episodes, but we had not yet revealed exactly where we're going to be going or all those kind of details. But tomorrow, we will be posting the official tour flyer that has all of the dates listed. It's been a long time coming. I'm super, super excited to be going back out on the road with the Havoc. It has been 16 years since the last time we were on the road, 2006. So quite a while. And this is just the beginning, guys. Okay. One last bit of business before I get our guest on here. Pull it up here. Our good friend Brittany of Oil Change is in need of heart valve replacement surgery. We've been talking about this for months, guys. This is a really, really important surgery for her. And unfortunately, insurance is not covering it. So she needs all the help that she can get to cover the medical bills. Fortunately, there is still time to donate to this GoFundMe, which you can find on Oil Change's Instagram page. It's the link in their bio. I believe it's still the link in their bio. If it's not, message them, and I'm sure that they would be happy to send it to you. I know that the number has been increasing, but there's still a little ways to go. And I'm sure that you could probably make a donation at their merch table for any upcoming shows they have. I know they're playing one this month in Hollywood at the Whiskey A Go Go with the Peppermint Creeps for their reunion show. So if you're in Southern California, you should go check out that show. And say hi to Brittany and the rest of Oil Change for me. All right. Having said that, I think it's about time that we get our guest on here. Before I bring him on, if you have questions for myself or for Mokosos, you can submit them by tapping that question mark icon on your device. Please do not put them in the comments section. I really don't pay attention to that area, so I'm going to miss it. So again, just tap that question mark icon on your device to submit your questions, and we'll get to it in the middle of the show. All right. I'm going to go ahead and send the invite. So here we go. What's up, guys?
Hell, man.
The fucking phone! There you go. That's perfect right there. That looks great, guys.
Shout out to our drummer. He came through.
Thank you.
What's up,
Hey,
man?
man, I'm excited to have you guys on here, and I'm excited to talk about your band. But first, before we do that, could you please just introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do in the band, and also tell the audience the name of the band and where the band is from, please.
I am Nate, vocals for Mokosos. Born and raised in San Jose, California. First generation Latino. And
I'm Josh. I play guitar in Mokosos. I'm also from San Jose, born and raised out here. You know, Native American. Family's been out here for years. Also half Polynesian, Samoan. Yahoo! Gotta represent, you know?
yeah, buddy.
Awesome, man. Diversity, right?
Lots of it out here, man. You know?
Lots of it, man. That's one thing that I absolutely miss about Southern California. California as a whole has a lot of diversity, obviously.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But, you know, Southern California was my home for 18 years. And coming from Oklahoma, you know, growing up here in the 80s, 90s, it was very, very, very white bread everywhere.
Yeah.
So moving to California was a big culture shock for me because I was exposed to all of this beautiful and magnificent diversity.
I like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when she steps out of her house and it's all bright.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, I feel like that's what's we're kind of blessed with this side of it is there's just a lot of different cultures and we all learn from each other. We all coexist. Like it's cool to learn like, you know, the Indian food and Korean, Asian, anything. Anything we want to try, we could just, you know, find it. It's pretty cool. We don't have to travel, you know what I mean?
It's all readily available there.
Yeah, you know, everyone's working in the community. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. El mismo color.
El mismo color. It's the same color. Yeah.
The same color. Man, I love the message. You know, usually when I start the show, I jump right in to the introduction and I don't waste any time to address the audience. But today I decided not to do that because there's a clip that plays at the beginning of that song.
Mm-hmm.
And the message in that clip is so important. And I just wanted to shut the fuck up and let that message, excuse me, let that message be heard for a minute. Can you talk about the clip, where it comes from, and how it relates to the song?
It's actually, that clip is Charlie Chaplin. It's from a movie he did called The Great Dictator. Yeah. It's a, you know, old school film, and in that film, he does that speech. When I watched that movie, like, that shit, like, you know, it resonated, and, like, I was like, dude, that's a powerful message. So then when we were in the writing process of that specific song, like, the topic for me easy is, like, the song El Mismo Color is we all bleed the same color, regardless of what race, what nationality, you know, what color your actual skin tone is. You cut somebody, you're going to bleed red, you know? So the point of that song is, like, regardless of where you come from, you know, you could be rich. It's all, you know, we all bleed the same color. And the point is, like, in that song, I address how there are forces that are trying to create conflict, trying to divide, you know, trying to create class separation, you know, and so that's all mentioned in the track as well. So it's just one of those things where the song is an awareness that we exist. It doesn't have to be hatred. It doesn't have to be like, you know, I'm better than you, or I come from here, so I'm, you know, I'm worth more than you. You know, that mentality is what is like caused all this chaos to this day, modern day Earth, you know. We're still on the verge of going to war constantly with other countries. For what reason, you know?
Yeah.
Racial hatred.
Yeah, you know, pretty much. Ignorance, you know what I mean? It's just, they don't know better, unfortunately. Yeah.
You know, it's one of those prevailing themes that not only is constant in society and culture, but is always being talked about in the punk scene.
Yeah.
And it's kind of disheartening to me. Excuse me for a second.
Yeah, no worries. We've all been going through it too.
I'm sorry. My throat is dry.
That's cold.
I'm having a hard time. Give me a second, please.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about that. Hopefully I'm better now.
Yeah.
As I was saying, you know, it's just a prevailing theme. I'm curious, for your band, was that something that you noticed about punk rock right away and you related to it because you have faced racism yourself?
I mean, for myself, specifically speaking, yeah, I've experienced second-class treatment amongst certain peers in the punk scene. Some people really still think they're better than one or the other. Mm-hmm. And it is sad, you know, because when I step into the punk scene, I feel like, hey, we're all here for the same reason. We're all here to, you know, create something because we don't have that out, you know, where we started from. Broken homes, you know, broken relationships, whatever the case may be. So, like, when you start experiencing the actual scene, you kind of take a step back and like, whoa. So now in my head, I was like, okay, that's something that we have to talk about. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that kind of push towards, you know, still pushing that message amongst our own, you know, because I feel like we still have a lot of room for growth. I feel like the punk scene could be a lot bigger, a lot stronger, which we are. We're going, and I'm glad that generations are, you know, collecting and taking it on. So, I mean, there's still hope. You know what I mean? We do it for the kids come out. So
Yeah.
that shows me that somebody's still listening. Someone's taking it in. They're going to carry that message and so forth. You know?
I think also, too, like, one of the most important messages is, like, it doesn't matter your skin color. Like, you know, if this is the music you love, go out there and do it. You know, no one's going to hand it to you. You got to do it yourself. And, you know, we've all loved this music. And like they said, we all grew up with it. And it helped a lot of us, you know, survive hardships. And especially being, like, you know, brown punks and stuff. Most of us, yeah, like you said, come from broken homes or like grew up with family that are gang related, so that was expected of you, and like, you know, you're an outcast amongst not only the punk scene but within your own family, and then you find each other, and you just want to keep building that community. And like I said, like, just erase the thought of actual race and color. It's just like, you know, we're all one people, like we're all trying to survive and just want to make some kick-ass music, you know, like that's like one of the most important messages we're trying to show everyone.
I love that, man. You know, there's a song that I wrote for the new Havoc record. It's called We Don't Need You. And it focuses on that kind of elitist mentality within the punk scene. Because, as you were saying, you know, this is a place where it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your background is. This is supposed to be a home for people where they can come together and create. And yeah, racism, obviously, you know, that's like I said, a prevailing theme where we always talk about that in the scene. Like, it's not welcome here. But I think that the whole elitist mentality of like, I'm more punk rock than you is almost just as bad.
That's interesting. I feel like that was encouraged more by the internet at this point. And, you know, people can dress up, take cool pictures online, and make their profile decked out, as they would say. But, you know, what are you really bringing to your community at the end of the day? You know, making someone feel welcomed? Are you making feel someone better? Are you helping someone out of their misery, you know, to help them get through? Or are you just stomping them out and making them feel like shit anyways, you know?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, and, you know, the whole idea behind this movement is about individuality. It's about originality. Not just, like you said, being decked out and listening to the most obscure bands and being like, I'm so much more punk rock than you because you don't know about these bands. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, you know, like, I honestly got into punk. I'm from the Bay Area, so I got into punk through pop punk because that's what was out here. We had Rancid. We had Green Day. You know what I mean? So for me, I like melody. I like a little melody in my hardcore punk, you know? And some folks are like, oh, you know, fuck that shit. We just want to sound like we're scraping the wall the whole time and beating up. I respect it. Some of it sounds fucking amazing. But then after a while, you're just like, well, that's it. You know, like, no growth, no open, you know, like, I don't know. I like it all. You know what I mean? Everything's got a flavor. Everything's got its own taste, you know? Like, I don't go to a buffet and just get the same item all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get variety in that.
Yeah, variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, that's the beauty of punk, too, though. You know what I mean? You can go metal, you can go crossover, you can go more poppy, you can go rock and roll. You know, it's all still the same fucking genre at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's fucking 2 guitars, fucking drums, and fucking some motherfucker screaming his ass off. You know, that's the fun part about it. You know.
So I love that you're talking about how your band likes to implement melody and these different inspirations that you have. But let's talk about the new record, what it's called, and you know, what are some of the driving influences throughout the record?
This new record that we have out is so it's titled Underdogs of Chaos. We actually decided to do an English title this time, which is also the title track of the album. It's the lyrical content is in English. So I decided to start throwing in, you know, some more. So, you know, like I said, I want everyone to feel included. So I feel like at the end of the day, I can sing in Spanish all day long. But if somebody doesn't get it, they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, they can be like, oh, all right, cool.
We want to give everyone a chance to be able to sing along with us, you know? And like, so that's why, we mixed it up this time instead of just constant, like, maybe 1 or 2 songs in the album, but it's just English, and then the rest of it's just all in Spanish. So this one definitely, we reached in and just kind of took a lot of influences from, a lot of bigger bands, especially out here in the Bay Area, where, you know, we have it all. Like I said, like was it Berkeley, freaking pop punk, and then, you know, the Bay Area itself, we have thrash scene out here and stuff. And most of us, like, are, like, you know, our drummer's a metalhead, and, you know, try to incorporate everything into, like, this one sound. Try to make it our own instead of just sounding everyone else that just wants to, sing on a freaking chalkboard. Like,
so this is the physical copy. We still believe in CDs. Some people don't.
Hell yeah, man.
Still have CDs, you know. Like,
or I mean, you can even get it in tape because we believe in that too.
Yeah, we got the cassette tape. So this is out on Oi Boys Records and Just Fucking Pogo from Long Beach and Boyle Heights. Those are good friends of ours. They've given us, like, you know, the benefit of the doubt. We didn't know if, like, people outside of our area were gonna, like, take a chance and, you know, hey man, let's put something out, you know. So it's been cool that, you know, we had a conversation, and we're slowly working, you know, like with other, you know, working with the label, finally getting more out of, like, what we can reach, you know. Like, for us, we can try to, like, call everybody, like, hey, check out my new music. Your friends are like, dude, call me when you want to hang out, you know.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, it's cool to be able to market your music through other sources, you know. That's pretty cool. So I give a shout out to them. But,
yeah, I can relate to that whole struggle of having new music and wanting to get it out there. Like, you're hitting up, you know, your friends on social media, and they're like, a lot of times the message gets ignored or whatever, which is fine. But I love that you guys have physical copies that you can actually give out. You can have them at your merch table, because I really have. I've been talking about this a lot over the last year with this show. The importance of physical media. It even though it may be obsolete, it's still relevant because it still makes an impact on people.
Yeah, like, if that CD ends up at a thrift store in the middle of fucking nowhere, at least it's in a thrift store in the middle of nowhere. And that's, like, I remember when I found my first punk rock CDs, it was at the market, you know, like, just straight fucking walk around market, and I found a NoFX CD and Social Distortion CD. I didn't keep them, but but it's just the fact that I was able to find those, you know. Somebody sold them for $3 a pop, and I'm like, shit, I'm trying to get into this stuff, you know, and to find it next to, like, some pair of work boots and an old machete or something, you're like, punk rock CDs, you know, like, and that's why I think physical copy is important. Same with records, you know, like, somebody throws it away, somebody's gonna find it, like, oh, this is probably worth something, and put it up on a shelf somewhere, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, what the fuck is that doing there, you know? Like, I feel like physical travel in that way, you know. Outlive us, actually, you know, if you take care of, you know.
No doubt.
What happens when the internet crashes, you know?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, well, there it went. You know? Or the internet market crashes and our files are no longer available, you know. And there went all our digital.
Oh, right.
And then if that's all you had to show for it, then you're like, oh yeah, well, I used to have a top hit, but it was only on the internet.
Yeah, you know, you bring up an interesting point. I think over the last decade, since the introduction of social media and streaming platforms, smartphones, that whole thing, everybody kind of hopped on board. I mean, it really started with the whole iPod thing, right? You know, everybody kind of hopped on board with an iPod because they were tired of carrying around these thick albums of CDs. you know, in their cars that they had to flip through all the pages and whatever.
I
mean, we all had those, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a part of growing up.
But, you know, I think that the luster is kind of starting to wear off with the whole streaming thing and like everything being digital. I really feel like it's starting to wear off for artists. I think artists are kind of just over it and wanting to lean more towards physical media.
Saturated bin of, you know, the internet. It's like, how many more artists are on the internet? You know?
Yeah.
Do any of them perform? Do any of them practice? Probably not. They just write some killer tunes and they throw them out there to compete with your hardworking music, you know?
Right.
You know, fuck, man, we rehearse every week. We're, you know, trying to fucking play shows, and then you got somebody who makes a similar style and they made it at home for fun and they're streaming the fuck out of that. And now that's competing with your hard work. And you're kind of like, you're pretty much almost competing with a robot. You know, you're like, fuck. Yeah. You know, who's going to get more hits? Fuck me or that robot, you know? Like, shit.
Yep.
So,
you mentioned about being hardworking, which you guys are out there playing shows. You guys just wrapped up a tour. I want to talk about that a little bit. But before we jump into that, I want to address the audience real quick. If you have a question for myself or for the guys of Mokosos, you can submit your question by tapping that question mark icon on your device. Please don't put your comments, please do not put your questions in the comments section. Tap that question mark icon, submit your question there. We're getting close to the live Q&A portion of the show. Let's talk about this tour, guys. Where all did you go, and what would you say was your favorite show?
So we did 10 days. We went down south towards LA County. We started in Fresno. We started with we actually went on tour with the Militia with Franco from Destructive Productions. Yeah, they jumped in the van with us, and we did, you know, old school. We did 2 bands in a van and shared gear, and we hit the road. We started down to LA. We went towards Arizona. We went through Arizona, and then we went up to Colorado, and then from Denver, we went to Salt Lake City. From Salt Lake City to Nevada, back down to Inland Empire, and then so it was pretty fun. It was eventful. We saw some snow, but I say, like, my favorite gig, I guess I could say, they all had something good, something interesting about them, but I say the one that stuck out the most for me was SLC. Yeah. It was 27 degrees, and the stage was set up outside, and all these kids were running around with no shirts like it ain't shit, and they're fucking getting into it. I'm just like,
we're all bundled up and
like,
still can't
shit,
feel
I'm wearing a
fingers.
scarf, I'm wearing leather, and I'm wearing my boots, and I'm still cold. I'm trying to watch the birch, and I'm like, I gotta go back to the van. And these kids are still like running around with no shirts on, just for every band. And but what was cool about that show is like everybody how much they appreciate it, from the oldest person to the youngest person. Everybody was really humble. Yeah. And then I guess the highlight of it was the after party. They took us to Ace's High Saloon, which is Endless Struggles bar. They're like, you guys have to go to our bar before you guys go, you know, take off. And we're like, all right, we'll think about it. Like, no, you guys are coming to our bar to check it out. So it's cool. It was a good time, you know, like, yeah, it was a pretty cool part too. If you ever go out there, I don't know if you've been out there, but check it out. It's a cool place. Yeah. And I heard they got really good shows going on there too. So hopefully we go there soon.
Right on, man. Yeah, shout out to Franco. I had him on the show a little while back. Fucking great dude. Love that guy. So yeah, definitely shout out to him.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that you mentioned Salt Lake, because last week my guest was User Unauthorized, and that was their favorite spot too. And funny enough, one of my favorite tour memories of all time is playing in Salt Lake City with Endless Struggle and the Lower Class Brats back in like 03, I think, maybe 04. Yeah. That show was fucking insane. It like the crowd was huge. They were pumped, and like everybody there was just cool as fuck.
everyone's really cool out there. I was like, holy shit, you guys really must really not like to do anything else out here. You guys want to hang out with us. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool that, people take the time. Even the taco catering dude was coming up to me like, hey, man, I fucking loved you guys. Like, you want some free tacos? He ended up giving us a whole platter of fucking meat and tortillas to take.
It was pretty much everything.
Next
Everything
city.
that they didn't get rid of just handed it to us. So we had food for, like, the rest of the tour almost.
Yeah, we went to Vegas with a whole platter of carnitas and tortillas and salsa. I'm like, fuck, all right.
That is awesome.
That's the perks of being in a band.
Free tacos.
Free tacos. Yeah, it was cool, man.
I don't know when we're going to be there next, but whenever it is, I hope that taco guy is there and he offers us free tacos because I'm going to get down.
Hey, no, we'll make sure that he goes and links up with you.
Yeah,
right.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump here into the live Q&A. So if you are watching this live stream right now and you would like to submit a question for myself or for Mokosos, just tap that question mark icon on your device. Submit your questions now. Okay, let's see what we got here. First one comes from my really good friend. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I'm having a hard time today. First one comes from my good buddy Sid the Kid, Sound System. He says, not a question, but seen Mokosos at Fire Rock 2019, and they were amazing. Seeing them for the first time, not knowing who they were. This is why going to shows is crucial. Let's talk about that for a second. Fire Rock 2019.
Oh, yeah. So that was before COVID. So that was right before COVID. We had just launched the 4-song EP. Something just to get us on the road, you know. So we did that. And, we pretty much, Tony, so shout out to Tony, he gave us, gave us the opportunity to be on the festival. He's all, as long as you guys book a tour around it. We're like, yeah, that's no problem, shit. And we did that. We ended up touring out towards Texas, out to Oklahoma, to Denver, all the way down. And what really stuck out about that, like right after we finished our set, everybody was just like, treating us like shit. You guys is like fucking amazing. I'm like, fuck yeah. I was like, I've never felt that, right? Like in another state, especially. I never thought I'd be playing Fire Rock, like that was something that I've been going to on my own, and so, and then, but what really got to me after that was like, there's these Latino kids who had flown out and they run up on stage right after like, hey man, can we please take a picture with you with the Mexican flag? And I'm just like, fuck yeah, we can. In Oklahoma, fuck yeah, we can. Like that was, like I never thought I'd have somebody run up to us and, like, so yeah, that was fucking endearing knowing that there's so many people coming from all over the world, to check out this festival, which, is, and I feel like COVID, like we had that momentum. We were just about to book our follow-up tour that spring and COVID happened and fucked us up for 2 years, and kind of have to pick up the pieces, but here we are, we're back at it like a crack addict.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a great memory. And yeah, man, definitely shout out to Tony and Michelle. They worked really hard to make sure that festival is fucking off the hook every year. They moved it to Denver last year. I'm not sure what they're going to do for next year yet. But can't wait to hear whatever they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if I ain't playing, I'm going, you know what I mean? As well as festivals where, so many friends I've made out there that, we're still friends to this day, I love the unity that's created. People are just very friendly when they actually want to unite. You know what I mean? There's no egos. There's no, hey, I come from here and I'm cool with you. It's like, not really. You just paid for a plane ticket. And I'm sure they checked your bags, because you're a punk. Like, we're all the same, So it's cool knowing that everyone just goes out there just ready to have a good time. It's fucking.
Hell yeah.
We all just want to sing the same song. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. All right, next question comes from River Trash 77. They say, what would be your dream show? What bands would you play with?
Well, shit, we just fucking played a sold-out gig with Fear about 3 weekends ago in our hometown. I'm not going to lie, I woke up that next day like, Dude, last night fucking rules. Like, I'm still married to that young punk rock teenager. I was like,
I think,
you should have been there. You know, but I mean, I guess an all-star lineup for me personally, I'd say I would want to perform with, I don't know, I'd say like ultimately I'd like to perform with like the Crumbums or something. They're like one of my favorite bands.
One of our favorite bands.
Yeah,
so
that'd be fucking cool. I mean, I know Dave's a good guy, fucking Trey, all cool dudes. I know the guys. I've just never played a show with them, you know? But that would be fucking cool.
Well, it looks like they're going to be getting active again, so you might have an opportunity to.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. I know they're going to be out. Fuck it, we'll play a show at the Havoc, too. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Hey, man.
It's, you know, like these are bands I grew up with, you know, you guys as well. So, like, for me, it's like any of these shows, like, fuck. If it happens, that's already a dream, like, step up for me, you know, my bucket list, you know. Because I want to jam out with the dudes that fucking, you know, made me this way.
Well, hey, man, I don't think that's entirely out of the question. I mean, we don't know exactly what all we're going to be doing next year yet. But, I mean, we know we've got a new record coming out, and we want to get out there and promote it. And we want to align ourselves with other bands that, you know, are hungry and want to work hard and make an impact on the scene just like we do. So I don't think that's an impossibility for us to do some dates together, at least to show.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to come up to, like, the San Francisco Bay Area, too, we can work on something out there, too, you know. I mean...
Oh, yeah, we're going to come back there, man. It's been forever since we've been out that way.
But I feel like we're at the age now where it's our turn to kind of, you know, get to work and kind of start setting up shows, you know, which, I mean, at this point, I'm like, yeah, we might as well, you know, because who else is going to do it, you know? We don't want the shit to die out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm curious, you know, since playing that show with Fear, I know they've got a new record coming out, and I can't wait to hear it. I'm so intrigued. But how did Lee Ving sound? Because, you know, he's getting up there, man.
He still has it. Like, it was kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, he was hanging in there, and he sounded, like, exactly the same. Like, you know, he's just wearing all leather now, but, you know, he still has it. It was really amazing to see, and, like, interaction with the crowd and just seeing him smiling and stuff. So, like,
he still had the room going.
He still has it. He still has it.
Like, it wasn't a dull set. It was, like I said, that show sold out right before we started. We were opening the night, and it was already sold out by the time we walked on that stage. And it's just like, I don't remember this many punk rockers living in my city.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just seeing so many people I've never seen before, and they all have their studs and vests and spiky hair. I'm just like, holy shit! Like, there is a scene out here, you know, and that felt good, you know.
Awesome.
And Fear bring everyone out, I guess, you know. They're like, hey, get the fuck out, get out of retirement, get back in the clubs, you know. So, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I saw them, like, man, it had to have been 10 years ago or so. And I was so pumped to finally see them because I'd never seen them before. And even, you know, back then I was like, you know, he's getting older. I'm curious how he sounds. And that was at the Observatory in Orange County, which is a huge venue. And they packed the fuck out of that place, and he killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're wild. They still be packing houses like, yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, they do perform really well, though. I mean, I give them that. They still got the momentum. They still got the energy. So, yeah, they're doing it.
That's awesome.
Power to
okay, next question comes from our great friend Kurt of Dismantled Records. He says, any plans to hit the East Coast in 2023?
We would love to. We would love to. That's somewhere that I've always wanted to play. So East Coast is definitely, it's been in the talks already. Yeah. We want to go probably same, because we just played with the Militia out here, the West Mid Coast. So we definitely want to take, like, you know, both our bands and head out there too, you know, just kind of make a party out of it, you know, like, bring two bands and, you know, like, definitely want to go to the East Coast. We're also talking about doing, like, touring Texas, you know, and Milwaukee and going that way. Yeah. As opposed to spending days coming from the West out towards, you know, we're figuring we fly out in somewhere in the mid and then go from there out. You know, kind of save some days and get more coverage to new areas. So yeah, definitely we want to tour a lot more. That's definitely in the plans.
Yeah, the thing about touring in the U.S., man, is it's a lot of ground to cover. And, you know, most bands, they can't afford to go out for more than a week or two these days.
Yeah.
And there's just not, you know, a lot of opportunity to, you know, to hit a lot of cities in that short amount of time. So, you know, like you're saying, flying out midway and, like, you know, making it work that way so you can pay attention to one area of the country is smart.
That's a suggestion that's been given to me by, like, you know, older bands, you know, that I look up to. They're like, hey man, you know, cut some days and fly out here and start out here, you know, and it'll help, you know. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Supposed to get in the van all the way from San Francisco, driving all the way through, what's that, a week, and then making it to mid, that's another week. Yeah. By the time the whole place, it's been 2 months, you know, you're broke, you're out of merch, or I don't know, whatever could pop up, you know, anything could happen, you know, vehicle problems or whatever the hell, but yeah.
Piss each other off on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the benefit of, like, flying out someplace and then starting there, like with a rental van or whatever, because like you said, man, all the breakdowns, when you try and go for long stretches like that, it's just so much of a toll on the vehicle that, you know, you're going to break down. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard stories, and I've seen, like, I follow, you know, bands. Like, I was one of those guys that was like, I was intrigued by what they were doing. If I was into a band, I was like, oh, they're touring. And then I'd want to know, like, oh, you know, where are they going? And then hearing the stories of, like, their vans broke down or that they couldn't make it.
Something got broken into.
It kind of creates, like, when they do come to your town, I just appreciate them that much more because I know they're going through all that trouble to try to make it to your city. Right. You know what I mean? Play for 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So, this is for fucking...
Okay.
But yeah, speaking of flying, we actually just played Punksmith in Houston this last weekend. We flew out to Houston for that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Trip 6, Texas. That's what the venue's called, Trip 6.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they've been running for about 3 years now. It's a pretty cool venue. They got stage, great sound, lighting. There's a bunch of kids, you know, they're just fucking, it just reminded me of, like, that old school, you know, just street punk lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like, people weren't really on their phones. That was pretty cool. Everyone was just fucking beer in hand, just dancing, singing, you know, skating. They have a half pipe, like, little ramp inside the venue too, so had a little skate competition going on, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Not on their phones and living in the moment. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So, it's, you know, it's cool to see that in different states, you know, different cities.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next question here. This one comes from, I don't know why I won't display it, but it comes from Out of Order 27. They say, will your new songs be about the new world problems? I'm not exactly sure what they mean by the new world, so I'm curious what you guys think.
For the new world problems, I mean, in the sense of, okay, so when we did our 4-song EP for the 2019 tour, I wrote a song for Keyboard Warriors. There's definitely a song on there where I call out all the warriors, and it's just one of those songs like, you want to talk shit behind the screen, you want to jump in the bullpen and face the bull. That's straight up the lyrical content in Spanish. So, I mean, if that's a new world problem, yeah, I mean, I've been writing about if something bothers me, if I get treated a certain way, if I get the short end of a deal, like, I feel like those have always been modern day problems. Even, you know, facing back 20 plus years, you know, someone gets cut off on the road, or someone, you know, has an altercation at work and you can't do shit about it, or you get looked down, you know, from a promotion, or, I mean, we could be talking about the current wars too. I mean, For everything that's going on in Iran and all that, I've already started writing based on that. I mean, if that's modern, that's pretty modern. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say we stay relevant. If there's something that keeps pissing us off, we're going to keep writing about it. It's the updated, anger, I guess, Yeah. Anger 2.0, 5.0, I don't know, yeah. I mean, if that's what he meant by the question, yeah, we're always kind of going with what we're feeling, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, because every day is a new day, you know what I mean? You go through something, learn something new, or you get fucked over in a new way that you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I could get fucked over like that. That's just life.
No doubt, man. Okay, we got a few more here we're going to get to real quick. This next one comes from our good friend Bill Johnson of 40 Ounce Booking, Atlanta. He asks, what's your guilty pleasure song or band? I can't wait to hear the answer to this.
Oh, shit.
I wouldn't really. I mean, I don't really have guilty pleasures. We usually just play whatever.
I could say it's a guilty pleasure, but
definitely Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Mac Dre and all them. Like, we know people don't really listen to like hip hop and stuff. So, but we do. Like, I love gangster rap and I love Mariah Carey. Getting drunk, trying to hit those high notes, and failing miserably. What about you?
My guilty pleasure is, I guess, well, if it comes to like American music, Anti-Flag's my guilty pleasure. I don't know, something about ringing off all those poppy notes, singing about, genocide and oppression, like just singing along, But then I also I play Mexican regional cultural music on my own time, which is, the accordions, the Mexican guitar, I do that. I guess I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure. That's just more how I grew up. But
yeah, it's definitely.
But some people look at it like, holy shit, you're like roots culture. I was like, yeah, my grandfather, my great grandfathers, they all, play mariachis and all that. That's kind of how I always was into music. I was that kid that was, except that was kind of different. I always wanted to fuck shit up as a kid too. So that's kind of where we ended up. Here we are.
Yeah, man. Like I was excited for the answer to that because I don't care if it's a guilty pleasure or not, but I just love hearing, when somebody in the punk scene will talk about a different genre of music and what their opinion is of it. Obviously the show is Punk Rock Talk, and so that's what we're going to talk about. But to step outside of the box every now and then and to talk about a different genre of music or whatever is just always fun for me.
Yeah, you hear some.
But you mentioned Anti-Flag too, man. Their first two records, I remember that was like right around the time that I was kind of starting to get deeper into the scene, and they had not become like this, enormous popular band or whatever that they eventually became. But still, those first two records, the songwriting on those is just so fucking good.
Yeah. No, Die for the Government's like one of my favorite albums by them. That was one of the first albums I picked up by them when I was at a record store. And I was like, wow, like these guys can be angry and melodic and to the point.
I actually listened to that record the other day, and I love revisiting, old records as I get older, and my thoughts on music change, or, I develop more as an artist or whatever, and going back and analyzing them again. But man, those songs still just hold up. The structures are so good, and I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people hate that band, but I still think those first two records are golden. Okay, let's see here. We got a couple more questions. This one comes from Stony Encino. Will you guys play Mental Disaster ever again?
Oh, man.
That guy's from around here. So Mental Disaster was my first street punk band back in 2007. But yeah, that band, that was like around the time where you guys were, all of you guys were super active. I was really trying to get that band to go out, do something, but it just never happened. Some of the members just were never, coordinated enough to leave their house, so,
Yeah.
backyard shows are bust, that was their mentality. But, I mean, yeah, cheers to whoever asked that.
All right, somebody brought that up.
Yeah.
Next question comes from our good friends in Goners UK. They ask, we gonna slam some beers at Caravan this February?
Ooh,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
They're playing out here on it's on a Wednesday. I know that because they contacted me to get them a gig the night before, and unbeknownst that they were already playing that same club, I hit up the same club, and they're like, "Yeah, no problem," because they figure I'm gonna bring somebody, cool, and it turns out it was already them. So I mean, we're bound to hang out anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely looking forward to it, buds. Cheers.
Awesome. Last one here. It's not a question, but it comes from some good homies of ours in Dead 77. They say, sending love to the homies.
Yeah. You already know. That's right. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
Have you guys got to play shows with them yet?
Yeah.
Well, before COVID, we did a few shows. This last year, I think we might have played once together. I think, but yeah,
it's definitely long overdue.
Yeah, we're trying to set some stuff up, but like those guys are doing power moves too, so we're like, we're all just like trying to sync up our schedules, But yeah, I think like in the future we're gonna do some stuff.
Yeah, you hear that, guys? It's long overdue. You need to hurry up on that. I miss all you guys.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to play with them earlier this year. They played our comeback show in LA, which was a lot of fun. And I'm hoping that we're going to do more shows with them in the near future. But yeah, definitely great guys.
Yeah, no, they're really great lives. Those guys got the energy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. Good shit.
All right, guys. We got one more thing to talk about here. There is a pre-party for Sounds of the Street Festival coming up in February that you guys are playing.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Do you have any other dates planned around that?
Just for that one, just like we did last week, and we're gonna be flying out to that for the festival. For us, we're gonna play the pre-party, and then we're gonna stay for the festival as well. We're gonna, we're there to
plus
we want to hang out.
Plus like most of us have never seen Chicago, so it's kind of like, why not make it like a little vacation? Go check the sites and everything. Go see it. Like make a little thing of it. Yeah, but definitely catch the main fest though. That's something I'm pretty excited to go see myself.
Yeah, I want to go hang out. Check out the main festival and day off, so to speak. Just hang out and be in the crowd. Just yeah.
Hell yeah, man! Shout out to Josh Nutting, the promoter of Sound of the Street Festival. Man, he's a great dude, and I've had him on the show once before. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was telling us, he's like, can't wait to meet you guys. I was like, hell yeah. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to going out there. Yeah, good
awesome. Before I let you go, do you guys have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to Franco and Maria, Destructive Productions. Shout-out to Oi Boys Records from Boyle Heights. Just Fucking Pogo, Dogface Bastards from Long Beach. Everybody else, everyone's been good to us. Everyone worked with us.
Fucking San Jose, obviously our hometown. Thank you for always supporting us. Everyone else out there who, has been repping our music and always messaging us saying that, they've been playing our record all week. We thank you guys so much because, without you guys, we wouldn't be doing what we do. So it's like, thanks for everything and thanks for, believing in us because, we're just a bunch of smelly punk rock kids from San Jose.
Yeah, no, definitely shout out to the old school heads too. Like, shout out to Punkcore Records for, putting out all those bands those years ago. I wouldn't have never heard any of that if I didn't find that CD at the record store, So we want to continue that same tradition, just CDs everywhere, you know? Even if we don't sell a CD, there'll be times where I'm like, okay, who wants a free CD? Because I'd rather it stay in a city behind me than take it back home with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I love that attitude.
Yeah. So, yeah. No.
Speaking of your music, your CDs, your cassettes, and any other merchandise you have, where can people find that? Where can they buy it online?
So the CD is available on the Bandcamp website. And then the cassette is, as of right now, I think Oi Boys Records is getting their website set up.
Yeah.
But that should be up pretty soon. But regardless, I mean, simple direct message, you know, and I do all the shipping myself too sometimes. So, shit, I got like a little fucking parcel station over here. So, yeah. I'm walking my happy ass to the post office every Friday, you know.
Get a personal note too from us.
Yeah, so, still, mail order. And I guess I like it like organic that way sometimes, you know, less hands on the project, you know, you just send it out yourself. Something happens, it comes straight back to you. It's, you know, you're not trying to call some call center like, hey, what's going on with my stuff, you know. But,
Right on, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be my guest today here on Punk Rock Talk. I've had a blast chatting with you guys. Would you like to announce who next week's guest is going to be?
So, drum roll. Next week's guest is Dead 77.
Dead 77!
Oh, God. That is the mascot right here.
Then our mascot right here, Sparky.
My little Sparky. He actually behaved. He wanted to bark the whole time. I was like, nope.
Oh, man. The look on Sparky's face right now is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. That's how we feel half the time.
Right on. Well, again, thanks, guys, so much for being on Punk Rock Talk. And, you know, I hope that our paths will cross sometime in the near future where we can finally meet in person and just fucking hang out and talk more music.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Looking forward to it, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Appreciate it.
You got it, guys. All right, to play us out, again, this is El Mismo Color by Mokosos. See you next time, everybody.
All right, later, everyone.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life may be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way.